What's up, y'all? Garrett here with a Thriving Hope message daily dose for the day. I want you to know this. I was living a really normal life. I am finishing my master's degree. I'm graduating. I got getting my third college degree, highly educated, living a good life, looking for another job, transitioning my career. And then the enemy came while I was trying to write a book about the necessity of intimacy with God. And the enemy came with such fierceness that literally they were telling me to commit suicide every single morning I woke up. From the second I moved in my bed to the very instant that I did anything, I completely yielded everything to the Lord. I fasted for 3 days, 3 whole days without food and water. Water. I almost died in my car driving home. I was so overwhelmed. Demons got into my mind so much that I went insane. I literally was going like that because it was so bad. They got into my head. They put a curse. I was literally seeing a satanic star when I would close my eyes. And I'm like, what's happening? And I was having visions and dreams of things that were going to happen, and they would happen the very next day. And I was feeling the power of God standing by me, and I even felt Him literally stand next to me while I was preaching the gospel. The whole time when I would go to Oceanside Pier, when I would go to the street fair, and I would literally feel Jesus. I saw a vision of God standing next to me like this, like in glory, while I was praying over someone to get saved. And then demons were following me and telling me to kill myself, kill yourself, kill yourself, kill yourself. Everywhere I went for months, they followed me for hundreds of miles. And I literally lost the will to live. And God had to completely save my body, renew my mind, because I went so insane. I forgot what it was like to even blink sometimes. And I was staring because it got in my head so much. I literally went insane, and God did a miracle. And now I can speak in different languages that's Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic, all the languages of the Bible. Just because God was saying to me, listen, I'm commanding you to go into the nations and declare to the world that my glory is real. And God was doing it through me. He even picked me up and showed me a vision of Revelation 1, verse 15. And literally, I saw Jesus in the mouth, and it's open, and the sword came out, and He pulled me through like this. My flesh and everything came out, and it was just my spirit, my soul. And I saw Jesus' robe. He was like this. He was like, preach the gospel like I told you. Because I realized that I was ashamed to share the gospel too little. I felt ashamed to share the gospel too little. And my car has the gospel message all over it. I made signs. I ordered thousands of gospel tracts. I took them everywhere I went, put them in bathrooms, restaurants, gyms. I would lay them on street corners. I put them in crosswalks. I would hand them out to strangers. I would do everything I could. And the enemy put a lie in my mind that I actually had to preach the gospel in order to stay alive most of the time. In order to stay alive and be in God's kingdom and do all these things. And the enemy followed me and completely tormented me, even in my dreams. I saw anal porn in my dreams. I haven't looked at porn in years. And all of a sudden, I had a dream of a demon putting, women having dildos in their butt by the thousands. And what is this? Right before I went to a Christian counseling training the morning of, where I was going to preach and do men's skills at a local church, which is a counseling thing with biblical counseling. And I was tormented the whole day in my mind. And God saved my life. The things and showed me progressively all the abominations they've been doing in my mind since I was 4 years old, and how many things they've been trying to do to me since I was a child, giving me schizophrenia, making me go insane. And every time I tried to do something, I would actually rebuke them and say, "It is written, the Lord omnipotent reigns." And they started talking back, and they started saying, "What? Because clearly they were talking. But then when I realized that they could hear me, I literally started to pray, and they said, "We can hear you." I'm like, "No, you can't. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you." And they weren't leaving. They were tormenting me. Hundreds of thousands of them. I was literally commanding people who were demon possessed to shut up. And I was telling the demons to come out of them, and they would talk back to me and tell me things that happened thousands of years ago. And they were just so possessed by demons. I'm like, no. And God even gave me a dream of me doing this very same thing in Oceanside. Like, and I was realizing God was showing me visions and dreams of exactly what I needed to do. And the enemy asked for me, and God was like, they're asking for you, Garrett. I'm protecting you. They're asking for you, Garrett. I'm protecting you like Job. And then they completely overwhelmed my mind. And I ended up in the hospital. I got in a car accident. I was almost killed. Somebody tried to murder me. And I was like, man, dude, what's going on, man? And God completely saved my life. It's a miracle. Now He speaks to me in dreams and visions every night. I have prophetic dreams almost every single night, and they come to pass the very next day in some way that tells me about what the day is going to be. And God's been doing that for me since I was 7 years old. And I'm telling you, man, we're in the last days. Y'all, we got to get our lives back together with God, man. I was doing everything right with my life. I'm pursuing a career. I was trying to get a wife, man, and the enemy completely ruined it. Ruined it. We're not even talking anymore. I mean, I got the woman of my dreams, and they ruined it. They ruined my life, and now I'm getting it back, and I'm still going to graduate. I'm looking for a job right now, smoking cigars to the glory of God, enjoying my freedom again, having wine because I can, and enjoying life again, knowing that Jesus is real, and His glory is real. And I'm preaching the gospel and saying, listen, John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, and whosoever will believe in Him will not perish but have everlasting life. And salvation, ABCs, is this: admit your sin. And Romans 3:23 says, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. B, believe. A is admit. B is believe. Jesus is Lord. John 14:6, it says, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And then C is call. So ABC, admit, believe, call. And C is for call upon His name. Call upon His name. Romans 10:13 says, whoever calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father, you shall be saved. He lives in me. He has walked with me. He has manifested His presence with me in my room, even to dreams He gave me about the power of the gospel. And then He literally caused this welling in my heart and walked into my room. He pulled me towards Himself, and He hugged me, and He actually danced with me to a song called We Dance. And He told me that He loved me, and He was with me. And He actually pulled me towards Him in my room. The invisible, omnipotent God met me in my room. And then He showed me my angels that were going to protect me. One right here that was huge, like 9 feet tall, and another one that was a giant. It was a freaking giant. It was 26 feet tall, man. I'm like, what is this? And they touched me and spoke to me in different languages, and I even heard them in English, and they knew me. And one's voice sounded like lightning. And I'm like, what is this? And God's like, listen, it's real, Garrett. It's real. Psalm 91 kept coming up over and over, and God's like, listen, it's all about spiritual warfare, being under the shadow of the Almighty, and me giving my angels charge over you to keep you in all of your ways. Garrett, it's real. You just can't see it. And then when I started to see visions, I saw visions of angels around my house. I saw a vision of the demon that was telling me to commit suicide. And guys, it was literally 20 feet tall, and his face looked like Venom from Spider-Man. But it was like with eyes like this. And it looked like it had seen millions of people die and did not care at all. Like, it just didn't care at all. It just didn't care at all. And it would walk around my room and say, kill yourself. Kill yourself. Every single night for months. I was losing my mind. And I even got mad at God. Like, why are you allowing this? He's like, this is to teach you the power of the gospel. Be careful what you open your mind to, because you open your mind to unfamiliar spirits. And He was telling me this. Do not entertain them. And I'm like, how? They're following you. They've been speaking to your mind for years, trying to deceive you, pretending to be God. Like, go there, go there, go there. And it made you go insane, because they were trying to mimic the still small voice only be completely different. My angels that talk to me talk loud, and they're like, obey Jehovah Yahweh. And they literally wrote massive creatures. Beautiful. I didn't see them with my eyes, but it was beautiful knowing in the vision that they were there. I was just so happy that God put angels around me, and now I know when they're there. And when I feel the presence of demons, I rebuke them instantly. Because I've had discernment of spirits, a spiritual gift, and I know where they are in the room. And it's horrible because they would come like this. And I was going insane and I asked God to give me a still mind. And it was like, God was like, it will go away if you fear my word more than his. If you fear my voice more than his, it will go away. And then they were like, click. And it was dead silent. And God spoke to my heart, don't be afraid of the unseen. I am the Lord of the seen and the unseen. And then he walked with me in my room and spoke to me in Hebrew and in Aramaic. And I knew it was Jesus. And he was like, Garrett, I am with you always, even to the end of the age.